If we haven't had a chance to meet, my name is David Trotter. I'm the founder and publisher of Awakened Magazine. And so we're passionate about amplifying the voices of conscious leaders, healers, coaches. And so we are hosting a weekly time to reclaim our calm during the holiday season, during the month of December, 3 different sessions. And last week we had Molly Burkett talking about having a somatic experience. We did a wonderful meditation. If you haven't watched that or listened to that, that's available on YouTube and our Facebook group. And then Cari is joining us today. Cari Skier. She is an artist. She's a certified sound therapist and just a great retreat leader as well. And so today I've asked her to come and share with us what she's calling mindful mark making, I believe, doodling and helping us get centered in that way. And so there is a download in order to get her free doodle. Let's see, Cari, what would you call your free download?
It's called Doodle Pattern Inspo, and it's actually something that I'm using today. If you download it, it'll give you the prompt cards that I'm going to use today for your Zen doodling.
I'm so excited to have you here. I love
Thank you.
what you do.
Thank you.
And so lead us, guide us, help us reclaim our calm.
Okay. Well, thank you everybody for coming today. So what I want to do first is kind of a little bit of a body scan meditation, so we can relax the muscles in our body before we start moving our fingers. Okay. And with Zen doodling, the whole idea through this process is that you don't have to use the left side, the analytical part of your brain. You're letting it rest. And so we're going to be using pen, paper, and I have some prompt cards I'm going to show you. And it's very, very simple. You can't make a mistake because you're just doodling. All right. So I just want you to first, if you can, close your eyes, take a deep breath in through your nose, fill your belly up, and then release it out. And release out any preconceived notions you have of being artsy or creative or anything like that. I don't want you to worry about anything like that. Just let it go. And we're going to take one more nice inhale, fill up your belly, and just release everything out. And while your eyes are still closed, I just want you to maybe think about the tension around your eyes and your forehead and kind of scrunch that area together, tighten up those eyelids, hold it, and then let that tension go. And tighten your jaw muscles and then let it go. Relax your jaw. Bring your shoulders all the way up to your ears. Really, 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 really tight. And just release, let it go. We hold a lot of tension in our shoulders. So we're going to do that one again. Just bring it all the way up and release that tension and let that tension go. And I want you to go to your hands and make really, 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 really tight fists. And then release and shake it out. And one more time, really, really, really tight fists. And release it and shake it out. Okay. So what you need is just a piece of paper. And these are just some Zen Doodle samples that I brought. And you will need some type of pen or drawing marker. What I did, I made this ebook for you guys. It looks like this. And inside it actually has these prompt cards that I made. And we're going to use these prompt cards so we don't have to think too hard about what we're doing. And we could just kind of relax into the process. If you have them already cut out, it might be a little bit easier for you to see. So I'm going to take out my cards and put them over here. So the first thing you're going to do on your paper, and I'm just going to pick this up for 1 second. I just want to check. Okay. Thank you. Is you're going to make a line across the paper, a diagonal line, and it doesn't have to be perfectly diagonal. Loosen up your hands and just a relaxed line across. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight. We're not worried about that. We're just going to let it kind of go. Okay, so we split this into 2 sections. And once you have that, we're going to split it into another section anywhere you want, any way you want. And then one more time over here. So right now we have 4 sections, and we're going to make a couple more smaller sections. And notice I'm just making random lines. Okay. And I just split everything off into sections. And once you have that, we're ready to begin. David, is it possible to show me what everybody's doing so I know they're with me? Because right now I'm just looking at myself. There we go. Okay.
Yeah. So,
And make sure everybody is doing okay. You let me know because I'm on an iPad to speak to you, and I'm on a computer that's down onto here. So if you have any questions, just let David know and he'll.
yeah, you can any questions you can type it in the chat, and I'll make sure that you. But I got my drawing going here.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is I have my little prompt cards. And I'm just going to mix them up, shuffle them around, and I'm going to pull a prompt. And can you all see that? It's really, really simple, just dashed lines. So what you're going to do is you're going to take one section, put this down over here so you can hopefully see it, and just take one section and you're just going to do the dashed lines. And when you do the lines, you're not going to do them quickly because the idea is not to finish filling in your space with lines. The idea is to be mindful about the lines that you're doing and to remember to breathe throughout it. So make sure you're breathing and paying attention to your breath. And I'm just going to fill in that space. Being really mindful in the present moment with my pen, how it feels on the paper, how the ink is making a line from nothing to a line. And you're just going to fill in that space. Now, if you notice one thing that I did, I used a very small piece of paper. So if some of you are using very large pieces of paper, you can make more sections and get to them at another time, at a later time, when you have your prompt cards and fill it in. I find using the smaller paper like this one and this one gives me a nice, maybe, 45-minute to an hour long type of Zen doodling session. And I'm not overwhelmed with, I have to fill in all this space. Because we don't want to bring overwhelm into the picture here. I don't want you to stress out that your paper is too large or too small. Just going to kind of take it one step at a time.
Carrie,
And
as we're working on this, if you don't
yeah,
mind, I ask you a couple questions.
of
Um,
course.
When when do you do something like this? Um, do you pre-plan it? Do you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm stressed. I kind of think I want to dive into some, doodling here.
I don't pre-plan it, but I do always have with me like a pen. You can use like a Sharpie marker and paper, and usually small size paper. It's like my emergency stress kit. I should say my emergency Zen kit. And you know, I actually am an art educator at a therapeutic school. So and it can be very stressful. And I could be sitting in a long meeting or have a conference over the phone with a parent. And I actually do a lot of this doodling during meetings and the conferences because I find that it helps keep me relaxed and I focus better, believe it or not, when I'm doodling. If I'm not doodling, and that might just be my, brain, when I'm not doodling, I tend to be really unfocused, looking all over the place and really. So this actually helps me focus in. So I can listen and learn better when I'm doodling. But I never plan it. I just, it's great if you're sitting in the doctor's office or, on the phone or something. I'm always doodling. I've always done it. It's just my way of kind of kicking back and relaxing, grabbing a couple minutes of relaxation anywhere I can. So I'm just going to lift this up and I want to take a peek and see how everybody's doing here. Oh, look at that. Good, good, good.
So how do we release the need for like the things that are coming up for me is like perfection, completion, hurrying to finish.
Right. Absolutely. So that's like your ego kicking in, right? So when it kicks in, just say, okay, I hear you. You're going, that line isn't perfect or this is crooked. I hear you. Thank you for showing up. I'll talk to you later. And you have to kind of let it go. You have to keep reminding yourself um, this is a process. It's not about the end product. Some people, their marks are going to be neater than yours because some people have stronger fine motor skills than yours. But it's really just a process of acceptance and letting go. So I'm going to pull up another card. Let's see if we can get a fun one here. So you can put it in another section. Can you guys see that? It looks like little rainbows. And also about the not finishing, like if you look in this one, I did some doodling on this one, but I felt overwhelmed at the thought of having to fill an entire space. So I just did a little bit and I said, okay, that's all I'm going to do. And that's it. That's how much of the process there I enjoyed. And then I just let it go and I moved on. So you make the decisions here, not the voice, that critical voice in your head. Okay, because you want to stay in the process.
Because we've got a smaller group today. If
Yeah,
you have questions that are arising or you want to share about your experience, I do want to just invite you maybe to unmute and share that. Since we got a smaller group, I think we would be able to do that. If you guys have any thoughts or questions for Carrie as we're working through this.
absolutely. I can tell you one other thing that I do, David, that I just realized that I noticed that I do, that helps keep me focused on just exactly what I'm doing. I count. So here I'm doing it a little different. I'm making these like rainbow shapes, and I'm just going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's like a dance step. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And that becomes like almost like my mantra to keep me focused. And remember to breathe when you're working. Because if you're working and you're trying to get something to look really perfect, you'll hold your breath in your chest. And you don't want to do that. You want to relax into it. And if you find that one of these prompt card comes up and you don't love the doodle, you can just make another section and end your doodle.
I don't want to monopolize Carrie's wisdom here, but I got more questions. Um,
Sure.
so one of the things that's coming up for me, because I definitely am more of a type A individual, I can feel like a little bit of judgment coming up inside of me going, like I'm having fun, but I'm also feeling like this is a waste of time. And so,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying this is a waste of time. I believe in what we're doing. I'm just identifying that thought that's popping into my head. Right. And so because I'm also envisioning myself doing this, throughout the week. But what's happening is my brain is turning off like I'm being invited, challenged, I guess I would say,
Hmm.
to so I guess I'm reflecting on my experience and asking you to help me through that. Like what would you say to somebody who's a little bit more of a type A personality and how this would benefit them?
Well, it's taking a break for yourself. It's
Mhm.
self-care. It's creative self-care. So it's a little different. Um, than like, okay, I'm going to go get a massage or something. This is, could be a 5 minute, a 60 minute, however long you want to do it for, just to kind of refocus and, kind of reignite your kind of self-care mind, your mindfulness, giving yourself a stress break. So if you do it for 5 minutes, is it really a waste of time? If you feel better afterwards, if you feel more calm, if you've slowed down your breathing a little bit, maybe some of the thoughts that were really nagging at you, maybe they're not nagging so much anymore from your day. So that's how I look at it. I mean, we are all really busy people, right? So to say, you need to spend 2 hours doing this is a lot, but if you spend 5 minutes
Mhm.
connecting your breath to your drawing and just really being with the little marks that you're making, you're going to feel better afterwards. You're going to be a little bit more relaxed and, be able to kind of let go a little bit of whatever is feeling tight in your body and in your mind. It always surprises people, especially at my retreats, when I have a big art process during my retreats. We do a lot of other things. But there's always the art thing. And so many people are, I'm not creative. I have no artistic talent. I can't draw a straight line. All those excuses. And it's funny to watch them as I lead them through the workshop and the process. and teaching them to appreciate the process of what it's doing for you. And it's amazing what people come up with and how they move through it and how they change and throughout the whole thing. Let me just see, did my thing go off here? There we go. You could actually see a change in people that were really, I hate to say, but almost uptight about making art end up being the guests that are like most appreciative and surprised at the end of how much it helped them, how much they were able to kind of relax and work through something that was on their mind. I'm going
The
to
way
put up, I'm going to just put up another prompt. I don't know if you can see that. It's
I'd
just,
like that for everybody else. Spotlight it. That's fun.
yeah. So it's like a crisscross. It's a little less demanding. And sometimes with the Zen doodling, it's not all about these really intricate things. Like this one is a little bit more intricate, right? It has a lot of more intricate designs going on. But I got the same out of this, which is really simple. I mean, we just have circles and lines and squiggles and little dashes. And it's just as relaxing if you focus on the mark making, just letting it go. Simple is always great. You don't want to stress out anymore. You don't want to get your thinking mind too involved. You just want to be able to look and say, okay, simple. I can just relax into that.
The word that's coming to my mind for me is reset. Like this
Yes,
great tool, like to just reset myself in between tasks or meetings or whatever.
absolutely. And it's something that you could stop and go back to at any time. Like if you looked at my desk, you would see like I have a million of unfinished things, starting and stopping. But I find it really helps me after if I've had like a more difficult group of students come in and my stress levels kind of going up and up. I just take a couple breaths and I just kind of reset, like you said, back in, just concentrating, focusing in on the marks that I'm making. How's everybody doing out there?
Would anybody like to share about their I've been monopolizing Carrie's wisdom, sharing about my experience. Who anybody else want to share about their experience? I really enjoyed this. Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
so glad.
I started with a paper that was too big, but
That's okay.
it's fun.
Oh, look at that. That's awesome.
All right. Well, Carrie, thank you for bringing this tool to us. I've put the
You're
download
welcome.
link in the chat, and
Okay.
also I'll put the download link in the replay that'll go out. It was also in the hello from Utah, Michelle and Amanda. Yay.
Hello. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining.
So, Carrie, how can people be connected to you and kind of get into your world and receive of your goodness? What's the best way for them to connect with you and follow
That's
you?
so my good. Appreciate that. Well, you can reach me on my website, and
I'll
I'm
put that.
also doing, and on my Instagram, I'm also doing, and this is because of you. You totally inspired me. In January, I'm doing kind of like a mindful mark making with watercolor and inks. Because you had told me in our interview how you used to do that, get together with people and do some watercolor. So I'm going to be doing that. And I'd love to have everybody join. It'll be Eastern Standard Time at 7:30, 8:30, 5 Thursdays all through January and 1 week in February. And that you would find on my Instagram at Creative Tools for Wellness. And any other way to reach me would be through my website. You can go through my website and check out what's going on. I have retreats coming up actually in I just had a retreat, so I have some coming up, one coming up in June. And I always have things coming up throughout the year, but that's probably the best way to get information. And if you need to reach me through my email, all the information is on my website.
Wonderful. So those links, creativetoolsforwellness.com and Creative Tools for Wellness on Instagram, are in the chat. And Cari, thank you for bringing this resource to us. It's so great. I've had a great time. And you know what? I believe it was when I had a conversation with you and saw what you were doing on your website with not only painting, but particularly the bilateral drawing.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, Mandy, my partner, and I did a retreat in Maui last month, and we did a whole watercolor, session in the morning around meditation, and then I got a big, huge roll of paper delivered from Amazon to the place in Maui, so I didn't have to take it on the plane. And I put down huge sheets of paper throughout the place where we were, and had people do bilateral drawing. I've got tons of pictures and video. It was really, really a powerful, transformative time, all because of you.
Yeah.
So that was really fun.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's great.
So we've inspired each other. That's great.
Exactly. All right, so we'll send out this replay to all the people that are signed up for De-Stress December, and those of you who are on the call, encourage you to maybe even share what you've done on Instagram and tag Cari, Creative Tools for Wellness, so that she can see in your Instagram story or on Facebook or something. So it's just great to have you, Cari. Appreciate your investment in our community, and thank you for.
Sure. Pleasure.
All right.
Thank you, everybody. Happy holidays.
Have a great day, everybody.